begins. It begins indeed. Reading the same shit as last week because, of course, we are. Death Korps of RWBY. A wonderfully trashy story about a Kriegsman who gets isekai'd into RWBY for some reason. I'm sure it'll be elucidated, but I don't want it to be, because it's already stupid enough. We are starting at chapter 5, because we read up to chapter 4. After completing his nightly prayers, Hansel felt a week of running, marching, and overall fighting catch up to him. Eating that wonderful food early didn't help either. If anything, it made him feel sleepier than he was before. Hansel tried the bed they had given him, but it was too soft for his tastes. He hasn't been attuned to beds for a while now. Most grenadiers like him preferred the floor for no other reason other than it just felt normal for them to lay against a hard surface. Although it wasn't the hardest of floors, it was still tougher than the bed. What the fuck?
It's a requirement that they have actual bedrolls at least, right?
They issue them cots.
Like a standard fucking issue, kid.
You're issued a fucking cot. What the fuck, man? It's literally the softest fucking thing you can have. It's a piece of fabric that you suspend over a frame and lie on. Several hours later, the sun rose into the sky, sending its life-giving rays all about the world that rotated around it. Usually around this time, the professors of Beacon Academy were rising from their beds and readying their coffee to really wake themselves up. It was also at this hour Glinda Goodwitch was starting to check in on Beacon's new student, a task she dreaded dearly. It's not the right qualifier. This was the first time a student has ever terrified her, and of course Ozpin wanted her out of all professors to check in on him early in the morning. She wasn't in the dark about his origins. Ozpin had a habit of recording all of his conversations. For what purpose? All of his conversations, comma, for what purpose? Question mark. She didn't want to know, honestly.
He's a creep.
But why is he off for asking us questions?
Like, why is he doing it? You tell me, buddy. You're the writer. Oh god, it gets worse. She didn't want to know, honestly. Full stop. Capitalization. But he did play the recording for her, comma, and it shook her to her core, comma. How could a society be so monstrous to force its own children to fight to the death against whatever enemy Hansel's people fought?
You run a Ugandan child soldier camp. Fuck you.
You're literally training them to be soldiers, you fucking whore.
Listen, we are the naked commandos. We are called Team RWBY.
Never mind, comma. It doesn't matter right now. She just needs to make sure he's alright. Full stop. Don't put a comma before but. Please.
Comma.
Oddly enough, he wasn't on the bed. No, he was ... No space. On the floor? Interrogation mark? She was about to wake him up to ask why he was on the floor, but something about him lying there kept her from doing it. Semicolon. He had looked stressed when they found him, and from what she heard from the recording, Hanzo was a soldier that recently came off a battlefield, so that means he was still in a battlefield mindset and found it. I bet not to his likings. Run on sentences.
Allow your brain to add the punctuation of the commas, otherwise you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah, we'll allow you to at least just take a fucking breath and mention when it's a run-on sentence. That way you don't knock yourself out.
No. That is the point of this, to emphasize that it's a run-on sentence, and that's bad.
I know, but I prefer you don't kill yourself.
Still, it was very troubling for her to see a child behave like a war veteran, semicolon. She regretted all of the times she wished for her students to act more mature, because now she has a student that never had the chance to be immature. She honestly did feel sorry for him. Extending her riding... Right, she's using a fucking whip.
Not a whip kitty, a riding crop, get it right.
I don't care. Riding
One is for
wand form, she waved it about. The energy the wand released levitated the bedsheet off of the bed, and she gently placed it over Hansel just underneath his mask. A small smile crossed her face as she left the dorm room. Linda pulled out her scroll and requested a chat with Ozpin. The screen popped up with the headmaster looking semi-awake. Yes, Glinda.
Hey,
what is it?
I want to interrupt. I want one comment. Guy is going to get the kick out of him by the commissar because not up on time.
Be so pissed off when he sees, soldier, why aren't you sleeping on your fucking cot?
And you're awake, you piece of shit. You had to be on the route like 30 minutes ago.
You were supposed to be patrolling 30.5 minutes ago. What the fuck are you doing, soldier?
I like the implication that she's just standing there menacingly, meanwhile he's sleeping, meaning that he has not been trained or forgot his basic training of making sure an area is safe if anyone was to enter the area. This was something they got done right in Full Metal fucking Panic. Why can't this nigga do it? A fucking rental can will do.
She had her regular school expression on before answering. I checked on Mr. Hansel like you asked. And how is he? She bit her lip side, closing her eyes. There's no punctuation there.
I like to imagine that her mouth just appeared in front of her eyelids, and when she bit down, she closed her eyelids.
While sighing.
While sighing. Just,
Could we possibly give him 20 more minutes to sleep? He looks like he could use the rest. A smile crossed Osmond's face. I was thinking the exact same thing. I wonder what someone like him dreams of war. I don't want to know. Goodwish answered, glimpsing back to the Krieger's door.
No, we're not doing this, are we? We're not doing this, are we?
Oh my god, it just fucking straight transitions.
Alright, so why does the guardsman not only not have his area secured, why is he sleeping so fucking long? These guys are trained to last on minimum sleep with maximum efficiency, and yet these guys like look at him like, oh yes, he needs more sleep. And he didn't get tipped off at the fact that she entered the room and left the room?
No, it's worse. She entered the room, put something on top of him, and then left. And he didn't wake up when a physical object was placed on top of him.
This guy should die in basic training.
This guy shouldn't have get out of basic training. Even the fucking rejects, and they work better.
Normal people react when, like, you haven't had much sleep and somebody throws something at you or there's a disturbance. You're just like, huh. And this guy's like, yeah, I'm a trained mass murderer for the Emperor.
I can take on entire cults on my own. And I'm gonna just sleep peacefully as somebody loudly enters my room, throws something on me, and then walks out.
Maybe that's the point of the story, and it's actually just like running this guy's just a reject of rejects.
That's the reason why nobody bothers to check his fucking equipment. They expect him to just die and they don't care.
Oh wait, the Emperor exists, so that means that he's actually competent. Never mind, I thought of a better story.
You mean
Anyways,
like what's her face, Eve or whatever, Cap's wife? Ooh.
Oh, it's almost like... Oh wait, we did do that better. Oh no.
Yes.
Anyways, let me continue here. Hansel's dreams. After switching to the German accent for this. The rhythmic sounds of artillery fire sounded in the distance, going sump, sump, sump every several seconds. The loud chattering of heavy stubber rounds conversed with one another between no man's land. Gunships made their flyby rounds, harassing the enemy, plaguing the planet on the other side of the wasteland. Hansel never felt more at home. Everything was just perfect. Being treated to the orchestra of gunfire, the symphony of bombs dropping, and the operas of the dying screams of heretics filling his ears. Yes, this was the life to live indeed, at least for a Krieger. The orders the watchmaster received from the presiding commissar ordered that they would wait several hours for the eventual trench rage to come nightfall. So, with some time on his hands, Hansel inspected his interchangeable las rifle gear, making sure everything was nice and shiny, ready to be used for whatever creature he saw.
Jesus Christ! That was some, like, femur-breaking sound effect. Jesus Christ, Corver.
I think Cooper was trying to attract SCP-106 or whatever.
He also took a couple peeks, as in a mountain peak, at his Guardsman's Ambition novel a friend from Armageddon sent him.
Fuck off.
It was a love story between an Imperial Guardsman and an Adeptus Sororitas stranded on a planet crawling with Xenos and heretics.
No.
Why is a Krieger fucking reading romance novels?
I mean, that sounds like an officer thing, like an officer joke you'd see in a one-off page, giant 40k novel. Not something a grunt would be running around with. Why the fuck is he reading romance? Why the fuck was this allowed? Why the fuck is it about a sororitas and a guardsman? Well, I mean, it's hot, but goddamn.
Sororitas and guardsmen, I can see that totally being a thing that people would write about in 40k.
Yes, but why would a Kriegsman have it?
Exactly. Why would a Kriegsman have it? Why would he care? Why would he be issued it? Where would he get it? Why does he have friends from other fucking...
Why could you... Okay, Kitty, can you do me a favor and write the quote I pasted in BC chat?
Nah, as soon as you're old enough, you're sent to join the regiment. Colonel Stogler doesn't approve of educated men, says that it was educated men that got Krieg bombed to shit in the first place. The colonel says that all a man needs to do is fight and die. That's the Krieg way. An unnamed Death Corps soldier explaining his illiteracy. They are fucking illiterate.
They don't need to write.
They literally have no reason.
The officers need to write.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it kind of be important to fucking read though, in order to actually figure out, like, I don't know, where you're going or what you're actually doing?
That'll be the officer.
Well, yeah, the officer crew all know how to write. They're talking about the grunt, and those guys teach. If your officer points to you, points over there and says run, you run.
What happens if the officer? What happens if the officer dies? Is everyone else?
And you find then you find another one.
You literally just attach yourself to the closest.
Yes. Yeah, that problem with officer corps and all the ideas you have is something that happened with the regiment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, why is an Armageddon Steel Legion soldier running around with a novel about an Imperial Guardsman and Sororitas when Sororitas never arrived on Armageddon?
Why does a guy from Armageddon have a love novel? Why did a guy from Armageddon know a guy from Krieg? Why did a guy from Armageddon give his love novel to a man from Krieg? Why can't any of them read?
When he was doing a lot stand by destroying hype spires against the orcs, he stole a love novel somewhere.
He stole a love novel from some random Hive Noble's bookshelf.
You know, this story sounds a lot more interesting and stuff you'd actually find in 40k, and just how it went from some random Noble's bookshelf to the hands of an Armageddon Steel Legion member to some random fucking Kriegsman that can't fucking read.
Just follow a magic book that just chronicles everything about what happens to it. and it starts in this bookshelf. Nobody knows about it. Then it falls into the hands of this guardsman
God.
during a
Have
war.
you ever read or heard of the Magic Tree House?
Yes.
What if it was just the Magic Tree House but set in 40K?
But no, like this book just falls to their hands, and you get to see what happens, and it abruptly cuts off when the guy dies. So the mystery is, what the fuck is this book about? And then once you reach the end of the book, it just continues on and repeats. Or it goes completely blank and just has lines there.
Or is waiting for a new adventure or something like that.
Not even, it would just be it would be meta. Like a meta joke in a way. Where half the book is actually written and the second half is just blank line pages.
Oh, like the one with how can it come, or how can true socialism, or see fucking true socialism work? And it's just it doesn't for the entire book, something like that.
Yeah, but like half the book is completely unwritten, and that's the point where you start writing in the shit that happens to you in the same style. So every single one is completely unique to the people who have it.
Huh, that would actually be a very interesting way to introduce 40K to kids. Let's traumatize the youth, am I right, fellas?
Goddamn right.
Anyway, let's continue.
Get them hating their life early on. The younger, the better.
It wasn't really something a Death Korps of RWBY guardsman would read. You don't say. I'm
Or
surprised it
possessed.
can at all. But it would at least helped him waste time, although he would have to question his friend about where in the warp did he find such a thing in the first place. Yeah, he's from Armageddon.
Even the main character has the fuck to get this. How the fuck can I read? Why the fuck am I wasting time? We don't get free time.
Yeah, why does he have free time? How does he know a guy from Armageddon? That's my biggest question. How does he know a guy from Armageddon? I don't understand.
The big question, how do you know a guy from Armageddon, and how do you get free time?
Those are the biggest questions.
Look, maybe he already paid his debt to the Emperor. That's why he's so lax and so shit.
He already paid his debt to the Emperor. And that's why he doesn't want to go to Valhalla.
Oh boy.
He raised. Wait, I have to go back into the German. He raised his head up to hearing a loud screeching noise coming close. Best get to cover. Hansa closed the book and shoved it into his coat pocket. The Kriegsman casually walked over to a foxhole and sat inside of it, humming a tune to himself. The screeching around only got louder and louder. Perhaps today will be the day he dies. Nope. Hansa sat up straight on the floor. Oh wait, no, we're back into the real world.
I do find it funny that he'd rather die than fucking wake up and go back to Remnant. Oh.
I think that's everybody's position.
No, okay. I would prefer to live just so I could see what kind of bullshit they goes down in Remnant. That sounds fucking hilarious.
I mean, you can get up to all sorts of weird shit with the heroines, after all.
Or Cali.
Ooh.
We'd have to dispose of Gira first. Don't worry, I'd find a way.
If you put a baby in one of them, that'll calm them down a lot, okay?
Damn right.
That tends to work with women.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You just need to tell Jared to stay in the house while you go invite somebody else later. The white fang will do it alone. You don't need to intervene.
Actually, no, there's a key point about that, Lau, though. It'll chill them out for a little bit, but then they'll come back angrier and stronger. It's like cancer, right?
So that's why I get them again. Come on.
Okay, I see how it works.
The only issue is
9 months of incapacitation to make yourself strong enough to handle them when they're back.
the only issue is when you reach 45. So if you haven't reached the level cap at that point, well, goodbye.
You have to just keep on continually training yourself to handle their leveled up woman. With each baby, they gain a level, so you have to reach level 50 before they can.
Anyway.
Fuck. Hansel sat up straight on the floor, checking the room from left to right. He wasn't at the front line anymore. That's right. The damn warp gate sent him to this damn emperorless planet.
What, mate? Are you implying that the reach of the Emperor doesn't arrive to this planet?
That's
I
the
was
most
waiting for it.
insulting part.
I was waiting for it because this implies that this isn't part of the Imperium.
It implies it's not part of the Imperium and that the Emperor has never looked upon this world.
Which is fucking lie, because we know that he's seen the entire galaxy, and he has a fucking map.
Oh well, at least it wasn't a tomb world. Or at least he hoped it wasn't.
Fuck off!
The Adeptus Mechanicus would like to have a word with you.
You know, Kriegsman... Oh, go on.
I just want to say that by sci-fi definitions, he comes from a fucking tomb world.
Technically, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if anything, tomb worlds would be very familiar, nostalgic even.
Or would it be a death world, technically?
It's a death world by Imperial standards, but
Yeah.
tomb worlds and sci-fi are planets that have been irradiated and ruined by nuclear weaponry.
So Fallout would be a tomb world, or
Yeah.
a death world, or whatever the fuck it's called.
It's
It would
a
be
death world. Tomb worlds are generally irradiated to shit and back.
Well, that's Fallout Universe too.
Fallout.
So yeah, Fallout's tomb world.
And they literally sealed themselves inside giant tombs.
Mm-hmm. Or vaults,
Anyway.
whatever.
Hey, whatever you call it, Greystone, man.
But where has this bedsheet come from? He doesn't remember draping this thing over himself. Then again, he might have pulled them down subconsciously. No, you're a Kriegsman.
Excuse me, a Kriegsman that moves around in his sleep? Excuse me!
It just gets worse. Screw it, it's not worth the time trying to figure it out. If Hansel remembered correctly, he had a mission today.
Oh my lordy, an enemy snuck into your room, draped something over you, and left, and you don't even feel the need to go look for them. Holy shit, how did this guy even get out of the first training area?
Even
Magic.
lol, even Romulus was more fucking paranoid.
We were building forts.
We built a fucking fort.
Yo,
You went. Did you go full Rogaldorn?
yes, on their
Yes!
position, they literally fortified their position and made a fucking fort because they were afraid that they'd just be ganged up by bikers during the night. Meanwhile, this nigga would probably sleep for an artillery bombardment.
I am fortifying this position, bro.
Unironically, the fact that we make
She
this
is.
time is gonna make Dorn proud.
Oh god.
Do we joke that we built a moat and a fucking bridge?
Yep.
I was gonna say, yeah. So if this is lore accurate or whatever, everybody should be getting up. They should look out the window and they should just see like a fucking sandbag, like fort or whatever, right in the middle of fucking Beacon.
Dude,
Boy,
the fortress. It should have the closest thing to machine gun emplacements he can get.
the standard joke on 4chan is that, oh yeah, he usually just gone to the fucking courtyard and built trenches.
Which he did, canonically. That being during the siege, he was like just making trenches in the courtyards.
Oh, I love Dorn. I need more fortifications. Dorn, you're tearing up the gardens. I don't care. I need more fortifications.
I am
That was
reinstalling the palace, father.
Yes, that was
no.
They have an entire book, they have an entire short story dedicated to him reinstalling the palace, and he was fucking moping around about it, where it's like, such a beautiful palace. Oh well.
Such a beautiful palace. It's a shame that I have to destroy it.
I
Needs
fucking
to
love
destroy
Rogaldorn.
it and rebuild it overnight. Now that this palace is more secure, guy sneaks in. God damn it.
Well, yeah, according to Alfarius, we know that happened.
I fucking love Rogaldorn, man. I love him so much.
He's a great guy. Anyway, let's go back to the worst character.
He's just fucking block autism. It's wonderful. Everything is just Lego. He plays with Legos that are made of concrete. He poked his head out of the doorway and looked both ways, finding the halls empty. Not that he was complaining, those poor excuses for uniforms were just irritating to look at, and the people in them weren't any better. I mean, based. From what Hansel remembered on his tour from yesterday, their little arena was down a couple of halls. Okay, this guy needs to stop using fucking semicolons when he wants to use periods. That was when they explained and demonstrated what exactly their semblance and auras were. After a brief panic attack of believing them to be psychers, he begrudgingly accepted that maybe it was some sort of mutation, because after carefully reading the characteristics of a psyker, he found that they lacked greatly in those departments.
How the fuck do you know what a psyker is?
How does he know what a psyker is? Why does he have a manual about what
He's
psychers
not-
are?
He's not part of the Astres Telepathica or the Commissar Corps.
He would not know what a psyker is. He would know what a witch is
Yes.
on a good day.
Why is he carrying around a copy of fucking White Dwarf in his pocket?
Oh, that really is. Oh yeah, I
he's,
carry a copy of White Dwarf. The
just
Encyclopedia to the Galaxy.
he's just carrying the fucking Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy White Dwarf edition. Think about it. It
No,
makes
that will make sense. So no, he doesn't. He doesn't carry anything. He just somehow got himself the training manual for the fucking Astra Telepathica.
Or the commissaries, he's got a fucking commissar manual. That
Maybe the
didn't
Emperor.
trust-
Maybe the Emperor custom wrote him a fucking book and just gave it to him. And he's like, "Here you fucking go, fuck you."
So you mean White Dwarf?
Okay. Fine.
That didn't mean that he trusted anybody. Never did, and this most certainly proved this case with these people. He'd kept a close eye on them just to be certain. The ruinous powers were always tricky. That girl Ruby, for example, could have been possessed for all he knew and ripped him in half like a piece of paper.
Possessed? Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I think you know if somebody was possessed.
Alright, first off, they have a really creepy voice, they usually have black eyes, they're usually leaking everywhere, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he
Also,
confused.
she was possessed, you really dead.
Yeah, I was saying maybe he confused possessed with gene stealers. I don't fucking know.
Oh no, oh Corporal, I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Excuse me, are you Hansel? The Krieger stopped and turned to the owner of the meek voice. If it was humanly possible, his eyes would have popped out of his head. An abhuman with rabbit ears was addressing him, trembling like a leaf in the middle of a storm. He crossed his arms.
Motherfucker!
He crossed
Motherfucker! These men are coming!
his arms at the mutant, forcing whatever nasty comment he had boiling in the back of his head. Miss Goodwitch wants to see you by Ruby Rose's locker. The poor Faunus girl shrunk as the walking manifestation of death passes her by, without so much as even acknowledging her existence, a fact she was for once grateful for. Crawling in my skin.
Why is it so fucking etchy? Like, holy shit, it's a goddamn abhuman. This is part of basic ass training, is don't shoot the creatures that have the badges.
Don't shoot the creatures that have the badges, who dress like humans, who have the fucking weird animal ears, because they're not...
No, the budget is important.
I was gonna say, guys. You see, the reason he hates this abhuman is because she's not wearing a Imperial Anquilla on her or whatever. So
You know what? That's good reason. Although mutants are lower in the scale of hatred, they're below fucking witches.
Now the funny part, well, I'm just thinking, he could have a reasonable reason to hate her here. That's where I'm thinking is it's gonna happen. Is that it's not actually about the fact that she's selecting the Imperial Corps. It's just because filthy abhumans. It's not like we work with you weekly.
Lol. Quote,
Speaking
filthy
of that.
abhuman. End quote.
One sentence later.
Literally the first fucking words. Hansel thought, not wanting to look at the creature any longer, even if they were the most human-looking of abhumans, they had an aura like other humans, so it most certainly had to be a mutation spawned from the warp.
I was joking.
Humans do not have aura.
That's why he's saying aura has to be a mutation from the warp.
Yet they have not had...
Yeah, the witches.
Yet they have not had any cases of demon possession and absolutely no idea on what the warp was in the first place. Strange people.
So they're the strange people for not knowing about the warp. That you're a fucking grunt in one of the most intentionally isolated fucking regiments, and you know about the warp. Don't you find it a bit fucking weird?
I was gonna say, wouldn't this be so much more stomachable if instead of a Death Corps guy, it
Acadian.
was just like a Acadian? God damn it, yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Or even if he was just an officer.
Acadian would have the
Acadian.
excuse knowing a little bit from their proximity and their experience. Maybe if they fought on Cadia too.
Mhm.
Oh no, they leave and they grow in Kidia, and you can see the eye if you look at the sky. That's why the eyes are purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Kidian
like
eyes are
officer,
purple.
become an officer.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you just make it an officer. Literally, you have to change nothing.
The locker that housed Hanzo's weapons had its owner buy it along with a Professor Goodwitch. A professor, as in there is multiple.
I mean, the more the merrier in terms of good witch. I mean, who damn.
She's got a nice design.
I mean, Blake can make multiple of hers or whatever, so fucking we don't know. Good witch did as well.
Good morning,
That's
Hanzo! Ruby waves.
And you get a good witch. And you get a good witch. And you get a good witch.
And you get a good witch. And you get a good witch. And you get a good witch. Everybody gets a good witch! Anyways, Ruby waved ecstatically as per usual. You're missing a "the" in there. He stared silently at the girl for a moment before gesturing his head towards the locker. Oh, right. Ruby started off the combination of her locker speedily, almost unable to contain the excitement she felt. She very badly wanted to see the weapons Hansel had in action. Carefully, Hansel removed the chainsword, bolt pistol, mono knife, and shovel. He set them on a bench and pulled the uplifting primer out from his coat. With a couple of turns, he found himself on the litanies and blessings page. At first, the two females in the room wondered what Hansel was doing until he made it evident that when he knelt down and started to bless the weaponry for reasons of study, Goodwitch started to record Hansel and how he blessed the weapons. Well, okay, we're getting to run on sentence again. While he may apostrophe the and mentioned the Imperium of Man and Krieg, he never did go into full detail about the universe outside of Remnant because out of all studies and arts in their world, astrology was one of the ones that fell farthest from glory. Astrology.
It's like maybe he's trying to make it like they're so backwards or whatever they confuse astronomy with astrology. Maybe.
No, I think this fucking writer doesn't know the difference.
Oh no.
Although if this was an imperial planet, that would be fine.
After he was done, Hansel holstered the pistol, sheathed the shovel. How do you sheath a shovel? How do you sheath a shovel?
Does he mean he flipped the shovel inwards, or packed the shovel in or something? How do you sheath a shovel? Does he have like a sheath?
He just got a sheath on his back. And the mono knife. The chainsword he, however, leaned against his shoulder. Ready. So,
Imagine being
Where is
good in
his
this situation.
las gun?
He left it in the locker. He only took the mono knife, the bolt pistol, the chainsword, and the shovel.
He only took everything else.
Everything else other than the las rifle because fuck you.
Why is a fucking guardsman leaving his gas gun behind?
A guardsman leaving his fucking las gun behind. That's.
Corporal, your anger and your voice combined with the volume, I just fucking love it. Oh my god.
I mean, can we just appreciate for a second the iconography that is the last gun? It's their fucking icon crossed over the lion's head, and he left it behind!
Guys, it just keeps getting worse. This is from Goodwitch. I see Missed Rose, as in fish roe, the eggs. Please go to your seat. Mr. Hansel, follow me. Goodwitch ordered, pushing her glasses up higher and gesturing for the Imperial to follow to the arena prepping area. Good luck, Hansel! Ruby says, present tense, before disappearing into a flurry of rose petals. Hansel opens his hand and catches several petals.
Why would he care about that? He's a Kriegsman.
Oh, you'll get it in a second.
Rosenrat. He more or less asks himself. More or less! Yeah, he more or less asked about a word. Staring at the petals. Never in his life had he actually seen a flower outside of history books, and now he had rose petals in his hands. In truth, one species of flower managed to survive on Krieg, but nobody ever had the time to find them, as they were rare and seen as a blessing from the Emperor. Are you fucking kidding me?
Why the fuck do we have history books on Krieg? What the fuck?
Why?
I was gonna say, I think I know what this is. This is if you know about World War I or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I get the reference, but it doesn't fit here.
No, it doesn't.
Especially not on Krieg.
That would. Alright, so reference with Krieg, that got nuked to hell and back because they had it too well. They got fed up with the Imperium because they thought that they were too mighty. So, in reality, the rose wouldn't represent the same thing it does to us. It represent the end of days.
It would represent the fucking collapse of civilization into arrogance and shit. It would be more fitting for a planet like Armageddon to have poppies on it. Or some other place that's just constantly embroiled in war.
Hell, the Iron God.
What we consider poppies to have. Where it's
again,
flower of soldiers.
Cadia.
Cadia is a perfect place for poppies, because Flanders Fields, the fucking poem about poppies, is all about pick up your arms, pick up the torch, and follow from where we left off. Keep on fighting.
How nothing is you're writing.
This is from Goodwitch. Yes, like her namesake, Miss Rose leaves rose petals wherever she uses her semblance. It also unfortunately leaves quite a mess, at least until they disintegrate. Glinda raised a brow at Hansel, as he didn't move from where he was standing, or even seem to acknowledge her presence. Are you alright, Hansel? He shook as if ripping himself out of a trance. I'm fine. It's just that flowers are a sacred thing in Kriegan culture.
No.
Used to have miles of them before the Civil War that happened thousands of years ago, and I have seen them outside the history books, so I guess I haven't... And I've seen them outside of history books. No, you haven't.
You just said you had.
And I've seen them outside of history books, so I guess I just lost myself for a second.
You should have said this is the first time I've seen them outside history books.
A sympathetic smile crossed Goodwitch's, as in plural Goodwitches.
Again, where are these twins and where may I meet them?
For a second. You know Beacon has...
Where are you keeping these twins from me?
Where are you keeping the Goodwitch twins? I must meet them.
Oh, so those are the twins that I was talking about.
Woo. Hansel stared at her with an expecting gleam in his eyepieces. Perhaps after your initiation we can visit there and see what kinds of flowers we have there. For once, a smile began to form on Hansel's face. Oh, come on!
Come the fuck on.
Why would a Kriegsman actually fucking care about flowers? You have to qualify that, and that hasn't been done.
You'll see. Oh, you'll see.
Why the fuck would... Well, we already been over that, but why the fuck is that why is that a secret symbol? If anything, your secret symbol is your fucking gas mask or trench coat. Or hell, take the goddamn shovel if you want to be a real fucking faggot about it. This is what men will do.
I would very much like to do that. But it disappeared as soon as it appeared underneath the mask. What is this Beowulf I will be facing? Glinda pulled up an image of a creature that had bony spikes and black fur covering its body. The Beowulf, as in wolves. The Beowulf is one of the most basic and deadly of They prove exceptionally challenging in a group. You, however, will be facing just one. Understood! He stated simply as the door to the arena opened. The lights from the stage sent a blinding light. No! Into his lenses, reflecting outwards so the light wouldn't disrupt his vision. All around in the stands were still... Why?
Wait. Hold on. He just... Or wait, is this another fanfic? Maybe I'm getting it confused with another fanfic. I remember, weren't we bitching about the fact that, like, according to the sun... Okay, no, that was the other... Never mind, that was the Halo one. That was the
Halo one.
Okay, never mind, keep going.
But this is also an issue, because the fucking gas mask covers the worst of the flashbangs. In one of the novels where they're clearing bunkers, one of the coasters pulls off fucking flashbang and tries to flashbang the Kriegers, and when you turn the corner, the Kriegers just gun them down because their helmets take the worst of the flash.
All around in the stands were students from different teams and years. A certain red-black-haired huntress, you should have a hyphen between the red and black, in training, was easily seen in the crowd waving at him along with her team. The team was, however, less enthusiastic about supporting him.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's a problem, Lyle, because it's fucking the way it describes it, even though it's terrible, does make it seem like it doesn't affect his vision.
It's diffusing the flash.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm just saying it's there is something there in terms of, yeah, you get what I mean.
Go Hansel! Ruby shouted, waving around a little sports flag with his name on it.
How the fuck did you get your hands on that?
That's a reference to the show.
I don't care, it's badly written.
Lol, you say that, and then it says this. Wait, how'd you get that?
Oh my lord, I should keep a count.
Whatever. The Keegan regarded as in to guard her with a questioning glance before he focused on the big cage in the middle of the stage with a portly gentleman with facial hair that of a Astroyan guardsman impressed.
Wait, what? Don't mix my Astroyan here.
No. Hey. Corporate. The mustache impressed of Astroyan.
Well, how does he know about the Vestroyans?
Wait, no. It's even better. The Vestroyan impressed the mustache.
I mean, they do.
The mustache was impressed.
Had you seen their hats?
As in, the Vestroyan.
Had you seen their hats?
Corporate understanding. The Vestroyan told a joke that impressed the mustache. That's what it's saying.
Hey, it's
as
completely...
the mustache is sentient and capable of being impressed.
Oh yeah, I thought that, but I thought it was because of their hats. Had you seen their hats?
I don't want to insult their hats by comparing them to a mustache.
Both are glorious.
Walter Glorious for Motor Destroyer.
Are you ready to face your enemy? The comical-looking mustached man said. Hanzo revved the chainsword in reply. The man raised his blunderbuss axe hybrid and slashed the lock off. You asshole! Dashing as far away from the cage as he could. A massive white bone and black fur sprung from the entrance, roaring as its red eyes shone with unnatural hate. The poor thing had no idea what was going to happen to it.
This next part, I can't tell if it was a criticism of Ruby or a criticism of fucking the Imperium. I can't tell anymore.
It snarled towards the crowd, gnashing its jaws and displaying its fangs. Relishing the fearful stench the audience gave off, it tried to go closer, but an energy barrier forcing it back. An energy barrier forcing it back. The beast snarled in irritation at the barrier and began to search the stage for a victim.
Is that it? Is that...
No, we keep going, baby.
Oh, no.
The Beowulva, however, did not find that victim in this thing. Did not find that victim in the thing standing across the stage. It looked like a human, but gave off no fear, no anxiety, not even positive human emotions. It was almost like it felt nothing at all. Fuck you. The Beowulva began to whimper at the creature at the other side of the stage. Something like this shouldn't exist. Almost like those metal creatures that would be set to fight and escape. But this was not a metal being. It had a heartbeat. A very steady, calm heartbeat.
Copper?
He's so badass, he made a Beowulf shit himself.
Copper, I need your emotional support here. I need your delicious voice cracking voice to help me through this hard time where a Kriegsman that is apparently called completely emotionally dead.
So emotionally dead. Right.
No!
Guitar or bass twang. No!
Harper, are you going to lead the monkey resistance against the humans?
Every member of the crowd was silent. Never have I ever seen a Beowulva behave like this. It was like the beast was afraid of Hansel, and all he was doing was staring it down, even tilting his head like he was trying to figure out what it was doing. Is this what the fuss was all about? Is this pup? Hansel was severely unimpressed with this creature, even more unimpressed with the denizens of Remnant. How could these things be driving the greatness that is humanity to extinction here?
Humanity really fucking sucks.
Hansel upholstered the bolt pistol.
Nice! That's a sexy bolt pistol!
Alright, so, he's just a guardsman, right?
Yep.
So,
we already went into how he shouldn't have a bolt
Good
pistol.
idea.
We don't,
No, I was thinking, is he holding the bolt pistol right now?
I
so.
think
He just
so.
It just
He
says he upholstered it.
upholstered it, so slash upholstered it.
That's my issue here, is that a normal guardsman has to use two hands for a chainsword.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lal, remember though, he ain't no normal guardsman as we'll find out later on.
That hasn't been part of the story yet. Shut up, Cora.
Anyways,
Shut up.
With the sights aimed, he fired off a sound barrier shattering ground. You need hyphens there, Don. That struck the Beowulva in the knee. The round itself tore the leg off of the body and shattered its femur.
No, it should have exploded.
No,
That's what bolt rounds do.
Cooper, I realized where this guy took that from. I
Tell
know.
me.
It's the fucking, it's a classic bolt-upon thing where it hits the knee and the shrapnel strikes the rest of the body.
That
Kills
ain't it.
the face brain. No, that's the where he's taking it from. That's the,
yeah.
bolt that hits the knee.
And the explode and the shrapnel and the bone killed the rest.
Bolter to the knee.
Yeah, which then where the
They just
correct-
replaced my leg.
Yeah.
With a loud thud and an even louder roar of pain, the Beowulva tried frantically to escape the emotionless void that began to slowly walk towards it. Is he a null? That's an unironic take from this. Like, he's just a null.
No, people is not instinctive. He doesn't. Not at the moment. Nobody wants to kill him, so it cannot be a null.
Oh no, he could be a null. People would just be freaked out by him. But Ruby does see to mind, so what the fuck's going on here? If he was a pariah, people would actively be trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But Ruby isn't affected by this, so what's going on here?
Rubies are just retarded. By the time
Or any of
he
the
was-
others, they just don't like him for his personality. So.
Yeah, that's how people rationalize their dislike of nulls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the entire joke of the best character of Safe Skin is that he ended up creating this bad hair around him, so people do not actually know that they dislike him instinctively.
They don't understand that their dislike of him is instinctual. It's just, oh, I dislike him, and it's probably because of his personality.
Well, in Jurgen's case, because he smells bad.
Yeah.
Which he does, but
He does,
Yeah.
but why would you bother grooming yourself if everybody hates you anyways?
Right.
No mercy, no remorse, no penance, no survivors, Hansel thought to himself as he fired another 2 rounds from the bolt pistol, both rounds severing the Beowulva's arms from its body. One final round broke through the Beowulva's last leg, but this time only scant remains of flesh kept it on. Why are you wasting ammo?
Also, how is this
Well,
thing
more
still...
importantly, where the fuck is the explosion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, also, how is this thing still alive after getting all of its limbs blown off with bolt rounds?
It has
every time.
every single limb has been blown off by a grenade. How is it still alive?
I was gonna say, this isn't like a Beowulf Alpha or whatever, this is just a normal Beowulf, so...
By the time
Nope.
he was upon the Beowulva, it was thrashing and sputtering in pain, but its red eyes were on him. Jaeger.
He's not a null.
Jaeger, Hansel
What?
said, pointing his thumb to himself. Pray.
Hunter?
He pointed down at Beowulva as it started to die from its wounds.
Why does his fucking Kriegsman has an ego? Didn't.
I thought he was emotionless, yeah.
However, its death would not come swiftly. He's gonna torture it. The chainsaw roared to life. Hansel brought it down to the Beowulva's crotch and pulled it all the way up to its neck, shredding its body in half, splitting and shattering the bone armor it had as if it was wet cloth.
Again, this is not a Rough Rider, not a Dead Rider. Okay, this is
It's a Kriegsman.
standard grenadier. Why the fuck is he wasting ammo? Why? That motherfucker get.
Why is he wasting ammo?
Thought-
Why is he putting on a show for the enemy? Why is he doing any of this?
Here's my biggest issue. Where's the 3 explosions? Every time I'm about to fire 3 explosions. Exit, de-chambering, like actually take, like, shedding the
Okay.
shell.
Yeah,
That
the
he actually
fucking propulsion from the barrel or whatever, the ignition of the gyrojet, and then the fucking bolt around exploding when it
Yeah.
hits the target, yeah.
So by the time it would explode, so let's just say that, let's be generous, say that it tears off the limb. It should be exploding behind it as it tears off the limbs and still do damage to it to the point of death.
Yes,
If we're being not so kind to it, every time he fires that fucking bolter, its entire torso would disappear.
I was gonna say, and even if the thing are going through the limbs or whatever and exploding behind it, that's fucking up the arena or whatever, and I don't think they appreciate that very much.
Anyways,
I mean-
by the
Look, Kriegsman get teach to wait for the white of his enemy's eyes so they don't waste fucking last gun ammo.
He ain't using a last gun, is he, Kerber?
Holy shit, don't let me started on that crap!
Hansel turned the mighty weapon off. He bent down and dug 2 fingers into the Beowulf's eyes and clutched tightly at the back of its head and lifted it into the air like a trophy, showing it to the crowd, more specifically to Ozpin.
No.
Inferior to mankind!
Oh. This is not a Kriegsman. This is Acadian in cosplay.
I don't even think it's Acadian.
Acadians had better discipline than this.
This is like a fucking,
It's the LARPer from the Hive Spires.
this is a, this is
It's not even a
Acadian.
hanger.
No, it's Acadian with the discipline and morals of a penal legionary.
But he's a Kriegsman.
See,
What?
I found I think I found the regiment that this guy is based his, like how the Kriegsman acts. It's a fucking Savla Chem Dogs. That's a discipline level we're working with here. The guys, one of the only regiments that are fully allowed to just salvage whatever they can get their hands on. Seeing us
Because they
otherwise.
don't get supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, their regiment is highly full of druggy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're called the Chem Dogs.
And they're led by commissars because they have no officers.
Because they keep dying. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah. Curry, do you want to read?
Next chapter, sure.
Chapter 6.
Oh, mama. I'm sorry. What am I doing with my life? Alright, okay. Oh my god, this fucking thing was updated May 1st. I thought this was updated in 2017. Oh wait, of last year. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's good.
It started on October 5th, 2015.
That's his motherfucker, a time traveler. Alright. The crowd of students were silent. Stark fear crept creeped its way into some of their faces. Hold on a second, I'm gonna take out my fucking retainer for this.
And so he died.
Okay, there we go. The
Correct.
crowd of students were
I
silent.
give his retainer.
What'd you say?
Courier died, taking out his
Uh.
retainer.
Oh, I'm not dead. The crowd of students were silent. Stark fear crept its way or creeped its way onto some of their faces. Never have they ever seen such cruel brutality committed. Okay. It's a fucking grim, who cares? Professor Port was even staring at the scene in silence. Usually he would have never shut up, but right now he couldn't find anything intelligent or stupid to say. Teams Ruby and Juniper stared deadpan at Hansel as he tossed the Beowulf's head across the stage. I think I feel sorry for that Beowulf, Jean whispered, staring at the devastated corpse as it started to disintegrate.
I don't think I've ever seen anything so cruel before.
Weiss muttered. She wondered what Hansel's chainsword would do to the Grim if it would get stuck. She wondered what Hansel's chainsword would do to the Grim. You just saw what it does to the Grim. Okay, fantastic. Good writing there.
Right. He was just looking the other way at that moment, and then looked back. I was like, "Oh, where did it go?"
Where'd it go? Oh, I don't fucking know. If it would get stuck, or if its teeth would break apart when it made contact with the bone armor, well, we saw it just cut right through it. Oh, instead it went through the bone like cardboard in an industrial shredder. Oh, so that was rhetorical. Thanks.
That was awesome!
Ruby said, earning several disturbed looks from her friends and sister.
Did you guys see what that pistol did? Whatever his weapons are made of and propelled by, it's obviously better than dust. He doesn't even have aura or semblance, and he just killed the Beowulf by himself.
Then it hit the group like a flying sack of potatoes. Hansel doesn't have his aura unlocked or his semblance active, and he just killed a Beowulf that was cowering from him. Not at any time in Remnant's recorded history has a Grim ever done that to a huntsman, let alone someone without aura. Hansel carelessly tossed the creature's head onto the stage as it started to disintegrate. The example he made was getting to them, and he knew it. If it wasn't for the Kriegan discipline, he would have been chuckling at their reactions. What part of Kriegan discipline makes you want to do a fucking display like that? Okay.
Banned one.
The banned one. I have never seen a Grim do that before, Port finally managed to sputter. I don't understand. From what I gather, these worthless beasts are attracted to fear and others' emotions. Is that not so? Hansel asked, glancing at the professor from the corner of his eyes pieces. Yes? Then it probably didn't know how to react to someone's devoid of fear and emotion, Hansel said with coldness.
You're not a space marine, motherfucker!
Final thing. I've seen mutants put up a braver fight, a braver face. Oh, I've seen mutants put up a braver face since this whelp. Port stared at Hansel, but then turned his attention to the rapidly decaying Grim. I'll moving this carriage then. Good luck with your duel, lad. Hansel regarded him with a nod and then made his way to the other end of the stage to prepare for his opponent. That thing could make a baby Crocs look intimidating the way it acted, he thought, checking the chainsword's teeth. It doesn't even leave its blood behind. It's not the spawn of the Vorp, otherwise it would have been tougher if not actually trying to fight back. Elsewhere in the stands, Osmond and Goodwitch were having a serious discussion. You saw that, right? The Beowulf was afraid of them. How is that even possible? Goodwitch asked, searching through her scroll's database for similar events of Grim cowering before anything for sake, but she found nothing. Osmond sipped his coffee, pondering the words Hansel said to the crowd. He did tell us that fear was not accepted on this world of his, Krieg. Many times I've heard of huntsmen claiming to fear nothing, but this is the first time I've actually seen it. What did they do to him? Though he was asking himself for the most part, he also knew it was a question that Miss Goodwitch, Teams Ruby, and Juniper have asked themselves. What sort of training removes fear? Goodwitch inhaled, also the answer is nothing. Goodwitch inhaled deeply and exhaled slowly. Mr. Hansel has completed the first part of initiation by slaying a Beowulf. The next part of his initiation will be a randomly selected duel. The audience broke out into a frantic, fearful chatter. Please don't be me. Please don't be me.
Are you serious? I don't want to fight that guy. He's going to kill somebody.
Hansel felt the ghost of a smirk spreading across his features. Inferior by all accounts, even with their aura, they shiver like freshly sheared lambs. A hologram projection emitted above the stage.
I was gonna say a Holocaust!
Holocaust projection above the stage. On the right side was a question mark within the silhouette of a person. Okay, never mind. And a dice roll where the name would have been. On the other side was Hansel's picture without his mask on, and provided his full serial number and name, the name of his homeworld, and his combat stats showing he had no aura or semblance. This, of course, brought an uproar of confusion to the students. What's a Krieg? Are those numbers? Is that his actual name? He doesn't have an aura or semblance, and he defeated a Beowulf? Beowulva? Eventually, that is. I'm gonna stick with that, Kitty.
It's gonna be Beowulf from now on.
Beowulva, yeah.
Why is the name of the monster written?
Fucking.
Is that a typo?
I don't fucking know. Is that actually how it's written in the show, though? Yeah, now I'm curious. Hold on.
No, it's Beowulf.
Is it? I thought it was always fucking spelled really stupidly.
I think it's with a U.
Yeah, it's a wolf, as in German, both. But
Yeah, no, okay, it's not spelled that stupidly or whatever. Yeah, it is just Beowulf, and then spelled normally like wolf, not Beowulva.
Beowulf.
Beowulva! Eventually, the dice roll came to a stop and a face appeared on the right side. 345768-00876- Hansel shall spar against Pyrrha Nikos, because of course it has to be Pyrrha. Miss Nikos, you may leave to change into your combat gear while I debrief Mr. Hansel of sparring. The Kriegsman in question, however, was already making sure he had non-lethal weapons equipped. The only thing that could have a glimmer of hope of being seen as non-lethal was his trench spike, even though the shovel was sharpened and serrated. So wait, is your fucking shovel a trench spike, or is your fucking
trench. Oh god,
Or is it a sword disguised as a shovel?
is it a shovel? I don't fucking know. It was the best he had for non-lethal. So no longer needing the chainsword, Hansel respectfully set it on the side, stabbed the mana knife into the stage, although without much force because the knives of Krieg were meant to cut through to even Space Marine armor. The Steel Legion dagger followed next in a similar sentiment. He switched the safety, if it actually has one, on the bolter instead of the side.
Implying that it doesn't have a fucking safety.
That's the author not knowing if bolters have fucking safeties. Of course they have a safety, you fucking retard.
That's kind of
That he's
point.
a Space Marine one.
Oh yeah, he's got a fucking Space
Case.
Marine bolt pistol.
I don't
I'm going to lose my shit.
Holy shit. He began to spin. I think he means spun.
It began to spin.
Spin starts T-posing and spinning.
He began to spin this treasure. Oh god. I'm sorry. He began to spin the trench spike in his hand as Goodwitch came over, unintentionally looking like a female commissar. If there were any, Hansel never saw them. She cleared her.
Oh.
Are there female commissars?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there
Yes.
are, yeah. She cleared her.
There are few because the aspirant get taken by the sororitas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She cleared her throat, crossing her arms. You do remember that this is a non-lethal match? Yeah, a bit odd, but yes, I do acknowledge that fact, Professor. What the fuck was that accent? I don't even know anymore. Hansel answered truthfully. If anybody ever dueled in the Death Corps, it was always to the death. No.
They would
You
not waste soldiers like that.
like that, you fucking idiot.
Part of basic
Don't duel.
training. Part of basic training is bayonets with wooden ends, where you're supposed to stab the other guy first.
Yes, like actual fucking. Oh god, fuck it, I give up.
Yes, they do go through
Oh.
physical training with all their weapons.
Yes. Good. I wish you the best of luck. Miss Nikos is a 4-time winner in the Mistral Regional Tournament and has the appearance of invincibility. The Krieger nearly scoffed. So she has won a couple of fancy pageants for fighting. Should I be impressed? Because I can tell you right now, she does not compare to the legions of chaos I have faced. Traitors that have devoted themselves to their blood god. Do you really think she impresses me?
Legions of Chaos, orcs here in its town. What does this guy not fucking face? Good
Not
writing?
only- Not only legions of chaos or whatever, but legions of chaos apparently devoted to Khorne, so. Yeah.
He knows the fucking specific gods too.
Yeah. Glinda blinked
Uh.
several times. Blood god? But she coughed and regained her focuses. Her focuses.
Their
Just-
plural focuses.
Her plural focuses. One's on his dick, one's on the blood god, alright? The bloody dick god.
Ah,
Yes,
that's a
please.
twin.
Just please try not to kill or permanently damage her. Hansel stared her in the eyes for several seconds.
Don't
Then hope she is
permanently
good as you-
damage her.
Damage her.
Don't
Hansel
leave
stared her.
Go on.
Sorry. You go ahead, it's fine.
I was just gonna say, don't leave permanent damage on her. We need her in good condition.
He's
Um,
in good condition. Osmond has a use for her later tonight.
I say, wouldn't a quadriplegic be more easy? Oh, fuck it, whatever. Alright. No,
Look, she just can't run away.
just can't run away, yeah.
Just break her legs.
And she's also much easier, to lift, you know? Then I hope she is as good as you say she is, or at least hopes that she has a strong aura. She sighed, glancing over her shoulder to see Pyrrha come back with her weapons and combat clothes on. Alright, get to your position on stage then. I will still be able to see the flower garden after this, right? She looked at the Krieger again. All he seemed to do was surprise her, being cold and merciless one moment, and the next having the innocence of a child that was supposed to be long since torn from his personality.
Yes,
no
it's
matter-
called-
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe because he had terrible writing.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's called inconsistent writing.
Inconsistent writing, yeah. No matter how confusing he might be at times, she couldn't help but faintly smile. Yes, of course. Hansel nodded to her in thanks, a rare thing to ever get from a Kriegsguardman, almost as rare as earning their respect. I don't think a nod would be that rare, but okay. But now was not the time for Hansel to be thinking about flowers. Now was the time to once again humiliate the inhabitants of Remnant, although it had been an easily attainable feat so far. You're damn right it's easily attainable. Even
Yeah,
then,
humiliate them by existing.
by existing, yeah. Just you existing makes them fucking stupider. Even then, as it was always taught during training, never underestimate your opponent. Even if they are inferior to man, they are by no means to be considered unfit warriors, for it takes either a dumb or strong enemy to oppose the Empire. In the case of orcs, both. Echoed the words of regimental watchmaster during Hansel's old days in the Kriegsskola. That's the sentence that's made the most sense in this fanfic, and he probably ripped that off somewhere from some 40k lore thing, I can imagine. He stood at the allowed distance for the duel. Pyrrha offered a friendly smile, a show of emotion that did not faze the Krieger, who only stared at her like a wolf cornering its prey. He could see that she was nervous, her smile was forced, and the fear was evident through her eyes. The only word that Pyrrha could use to describe Hansel would be monster. He certainly looked like one.
Why would Pyrrha, fucking Pyrrha Nikos,
Nice
be
girl,
afraid
Pyrrha.
of some gas mask wearing fucking
Edge boy.
pinhead
Edge boy, yeah.
Lord that decapitates a
Beowulf.
Beowulf? Yeah, a Beowulf. Why would she be impressed by that?
I was gonna say,
bigger things.
I was gonna say, other than his gas mask, what fucking else is he wearing that makes him look like a horror villain or whatever? He's wearing a gas mask and a trench coat. Whoopity-doo.
He looks like a school shooter. Fangs. Great, I imagine. He does. They look like school shooters if you gave them an M16 or an AR-15.
Fair enough.
No.
No, they look like Frenchmen.
Well, you give him a fucking auto gun, and all of a sudden he looks like an American school shooter.
I was gonna say, Corper, there is a reason we call them freshmen, okay? God. Okay, anyway. He certainly looked like one from those horror movies that are shown in downtown Vale, unmoving and silent with a deadly aura pulsating off of him. She's never been more terrified in her life, that's pathetic, Pyrrha. Chills ran down her spine as she could have sworn she felt his eyes staring at her. Pyrrha gulped. Goodwitch stood between the two a couple of feet away, and with a swift chopping motion she shouted, "Fight!" Pyrrha immediately took a defensive stance. Fight! Pyrrha immediately took a defensive stance, expecting Hansel to charge right at her, but she looked over her shield and saw he hadn't even moved. What is he doing?
Hold up, she covered her face with her shield? As
Yeah.
in completely, without even being able to see past it. What the fuck?
You know, that small shield that's only good for parrying attacks or whatever, and if you fucking held it in front of your face, could still hit the entire lower half of your body? You know, that shield?
You know, the one that depends on angular momentum, so you can box forward.
Mm-hmm.
That actually cover you.
Yeah. She shifted her javelin's form into its rifle state and fired a round to intentionally miss Hansel's head by inches, hoping that would spark a reaction. The bullet zoomed by his head, and he didn't even flinch. What? She was baffled by what Hansel was doing. Normally someone would have just charged head on and they would be fighting by now. But all he's doing is just standing there, menacingly.
That's not written, is it?
No, it's not. I'm sorry.
Thank fuck. No,
But
I could absolutely see him right. He's just standing there menacingly. Because clearly there's some fuckery going on here, because had she just aimed that bullet at him, he'd be dead. He doesn't have aura. His trench coat only protects him against radiation. It's not gonna save him against an actual, bullet to the fucking face.
Oh no, hold on, Lol. Hold on, Lol. We got another sentence to go, Lol. Hold on. But all he's doing is just standing there like a statue. What is he getting at? With a heavy sigh, Pyrrha muttered, "Sorry, but we have to get this moving along." Pyrrha inhaled deeply, muttering 1,000 apologies as she fired directly at his breastplate. To her utter horror, the bullet just bounced off his armor and landed on the floor, bent out of shape. Surprisingly, Hansel bent down and picked the round up between his thumb and index finger. He flicked it off stage, looking mightily unimpressed with the bullet. But then he started off in a dead sprint, catching Pyrrha off guard. Shit! She fired at him. She fired at him, hoping for the
Fired at home.
She fired at home.
Nikos!
Actually,
Home shooter!
Home shooter.
Home shooter!
Oh my god.
Shit, she fired at him hoping for the rounds to slow him down, but it was nearly impossible with all of the side strafing he was doing. So he's
It's
Doom.
fucking side strafing, is
He's
he?
the Doom guy now.
He's the fucking Doom guy!
The rounds that did hit his armor only bounced off harmlessly, failing at even slowing him down a tad bit. With fearful haste, Pyrrha changed Milo back into its javelin form and raised her shield, hoping to block his charge. Unfortunately for her, Hansel slid boot first for her shins instead, sending her to the ground ungracefully. Oh, you mean the shield doesn't block your lower half? Oh, cool. Hansel recovered quicker than his opponent and delivered a punishing kick to her side, making her utter a satisfying oof noise, sending her across the stage 3 feet. He did not give her much time to recover as he began slashing with the serrated edges of the shovel, forcing Pyrrha to somersault backwards and put Milo up to absorb the hits. Pyrrha was horribly struggling against Hansel's ferocious attacks. He was not giving her any room at all to fight back anytime soon, and if she didn't act quickly enough, she would be in serious trouble.
Describe what they're doing instead of just summarizing it. If you're gonna go into detail, use inconsistent fuck. I can't be. It's not a tense fight if I am not feeling the fight. You can't just describe the fight.
So with a desperate move, she pushed him away with her shield, but that did her no good because Hansel was waiting for her to do that. As soon as the shield went forward, he grabbed around the edges and threw her and her shield a short distance across the stage. Lifting shells into artillery did have its benefits after all.
Oh my, he's an artillery guy. He's an artillery loader too.
I mean, he's a grenadier, he's part of a siege battalion. I guess he loads artillery as well. I don't fucking know.
Cobra, are these two different fucking professions?
Yes!
Cool.
Okay.
Alright.
Never mind. There's a much bigger issue here once we finish this fucking fight.
Pyrrha rolled to her side, instantly putting Akuo up as soon as she could, just in time to absorb a dropkick from Hansel. Dropkick.
You fucking dying light drop kicks her.
She was panting heavily after rolling back. He only landed so many hits on her, and she was getting tired fast, whereas Hansel's breaths were controlled. He didn't even look like he broke a sweat. How is this possible? She thought with her shield raised. He was as fast as she was, but he wasn't a professional tournament fighter or a huntsman in training, let alone have an aura, yet every hit felt like a cinder block going lightning fast. Just what sort of army creates a soldier like this? He glanced up at Pyrrha's aura meter. It was in the yellow, halfway there. His gaze met hers, both fighters waiting for the other to make the first move. Hansel twisted the connector on his trench spike, loosening it into its pickaxe form. He then moved into a lower stance. So wait, the shovel can turn into a pickaxe? Actually, that makes more sense than it being a sword or something. I don't know.
I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Diggy diggy hole.
Dig, dig, hole!
Her eyes
The
were
fact that Winrose has a fucking metal version of that song is fucking great.
There's a reason I tried not to sing the actual tune, but you guys fucking finished it anyway. Goddammit.
Her eyes were anticipating every movement he made, careful to watch the slightest twitch his body made. Hansel was no amateur when it came to fighting. Every move was violent and quick. There was no room for showmanship when it came to Hansel. Excuse me? There was no room for showmanship. What about last fight?
What about the fact
Literally
that
the
you
one right before you, cunt.
Which was 100% showmanship. So, I don't fucking know. He charged forward low, almost crouch-like, so he crouch ran. Cool. He's fucking Battlefield 5 soldier now. Pyrrha assumed he would sweep her legs again, but was unpleasantly surprised to see him jump over her. Before she could turn around, he punched her kidneys 3 times with his right hand and parried her shield.
Alright. This guy's stopping right there.
3 times.
How agile is this guy? He's wearing full kit. That shit weighs like a motherfucker. And he's wearing a trench coat with plates in them.
You'll see, okay, lol, we just have to go 20 more chapters and then that'll be explained, alright?
And how can I explain that?
with his right hand and parried her shield swing with the pike end of his shovel and delivered a jab from the handle end into her gut, knocking some wind out of her. He delivered a shoulder bash into her chest, knocking her back, but she used the distance to stab Mila forward. She instantly retched at the sound of metal tearing into flesh. She covered her mouth in horror, losing grip on Mila, leaving it in Hansel's right shoulder. She expected him to scream in pain or cry out, but he was deathly silent.
Fuck off.
Hansel looked at the javelin in his shoulder and then at Pyrrha. "Oh my god, I'm sorry, sorry. But he didn't pay attention to her babbling and ripped the weapon out of his shoulder wordlessly. Her heart
Fuck off.
Her heart thumped extremely fast in her chest. She had never actually made someone bleed before. You're a fucking 4-time tournament winner or
Fucking
whatever.
liar.
You never made someone bleed before. Yeah, fuck off. But then her blood ran cold as Hansel removed her weapon without so much as grunting and began to swing at her with it. She used her semblance to pull it from his hands at a close enough distance to where it looked like she pried it out, but all she did was play into his hand again. As soon as she wrestled her weapon out of his hand, he used the pike end of the shovel to sweep her leg out and shove his left shoulder into her. Pyrrha accidentally let go of both of her weapons when she fell with an indignant shriek, but in her fall she also disarmed him of the trench spike by kicking out. That did not, however, turn the situation in her favor, because in the next moment his left hand grasped her throat tightly and he hefted her in the air by one arm. Pyrrha struggled as hard as she could, kicking him in the breastplate and scratching at his hand and mask, but he wouldn't let go. Her aura was stealing away strength to try the damage being done to her already aching body. Somehow he hit hard enough to fracture some bones, but currently it was spread thin as it tried to give her body more energy to keep from going unconscious from the lack of air.
What the fuck was that sentence?
I don't fucking know.
Come on,
how does
Aura
some-
give you more air now.
Or is it oxygen provider, apparently?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Is that why they didn't invent scuba diving? Because you don't need it. You don't need scuba deep here, you only need the aura.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I'm gonna go sit on my bed now because my downstairs neighbor I'm apparently annoying or whatever. Let me go pull the fucking fanfic up on my phone real quick.
Alright, once he's doing that, so I just gotta point out one little thing. How fucking tough are his plates if her dust-enhanced bullets aren't doing anything to them?
I was going to say, but her stabbing him goes through it. I don't know.
Exactly. How does stabbing him go through? His shoulders are covered, by the way. It's a fucking full cover jacket. But her bullets don't.
Okay, yeah. Trying to give her body more energy to keep from going unconscious from the lack of air. How does someone without aura have this much strength in one arm? Pyrrha screamed in her head, trying to pry his fingers off her throat. Her face shone bright red as blood was not able to flow through her body. If he didn't let up, Pyrrha would fall unconscious. In her struggle, she managed to push his coat sleeve down, and what she saw next put an inhuman chill down her spine. His entire his entire left arm was metal, a prosthetic design.
Oh my lord, his arm is actually a Cyberdome! Oh my fucking... Alright, that's...
Kriegsman with a fucking prosthetic.
Holy Copper, 3 out of 3. 3 out of fucking 3. That's right, you're out. Strike 3.
And I'm going to reveal the secret after this because it's hilarious.
Fuck you!
The collective audience gasped at the revealing of his robotic arm. Hansel tossed her immediately after she did that, a motion he did on pure reflex. Why the fuck would he do that in pure reflex? Okay, whatever. He covered his arm and somersaulted to retrieve his shovel, retwisting the somersaulted.
He fucking rolled.
No showmanship. Just axle rolling.
I was gonna say, I can imagine a fucking Warframe from Warframe doing all this. I can't imagine a Kriegsman doing this. I don't fucking care.
He would turn on his heel and just walk over there. He wouldn't somersault.
Somersault? Yeah, I was gonna say, you're not a Warframe. You don't fucking somersault across the land to go faster, okay?
I must go faster.
Must go faster. Retwisting the connector to put the shovel back in its original form and storming towards Pyrrha with intent on ending the match. She had managed to retrieve Akuo before a strong punch from Hansel's left hand sent her sliding backwards. He continued on, mercilessly slamming his fist into the shield, knocking her back further again and again and again, until he tore the shield from her grasp to drive his knee into her gut. As she bent forward, he grabbed her by the back of the neck, pulling her into the air before he tossed her to the edge of the stage. She could barely move, breathing haggardly, gripping... What the fuck? Breathing haggardly, there should be a comma there, gripping her side. Pyrrha looked up to see Hansel coming towards her with murderous intent. So she closed her eyes, waiting for whatever blow he was going to deliver. But the blow didn't come. She looked up and saw that he wasn't even looking at her. Instead, he was looking at her aura meter. It was deep within the red. Hansel had won, but the only proof she had landed a hit on him were deformed bullets and a stab wound in his shoulder. Pyrrha sighed with the relief that the match was over. With Hansel's personality, she expected him to just walk away, but instead he lent a hand down. If you ever draw Kriegan blood and live to tell about it, consider this a sign of a mutual sign of respect. She stared dumbfounded for a moment, but smiled, taking his hand. Doesn't your shoulder hurt? As you've seen, I sustained much worse. Even with the blood still coming out of his shoulder, Hansel allowed Pyrrha to lean on it. He must have had a high pain tolerance. Yeah, no shit. Goodwitch cleared her throat. Mr. Hansel has emerged victorious. He has now passed the second part of his initiation. The room was silent. A student without aura or semblance just defeated one of the most prominent fighters in the region. Not only that, but also revealed a prosthetic limb that sent chills down the spine of the first years. Ozpin rose from his seat and walked out onto the stage with a smirk on his lips. Welcome to Beacon. Okay, I'm done now.
Do I need to go into why a
No.
Kriegsman would never have a prosthetic?
I mean, I
No.
know.
Especially someone who is not an officer.
We
I was
should
gonna-
end this meeting first because this. Holy shit, this was bad.
I was gonna say also Corper and other guys. I don't know if Corper got to this part, and I'm going to spoil it because I don't care. But he has a prosthetic leg too.
Hello, Edward Elric.
Oh, I'm joking when I said that he had Cyberdog armors and legs like.
Don't joke, Lyle. Don't ever joke.
Yeah,
Ah,
don't joke about
it's
this
reality.
garbage, because every time you've
For-
made a joke, it's been true.
Yes.
4 out of 3. 4 out of fucking 3.
And then Corper, have you gotten far enough to the part where the no, you haven't. I don't think where the tech
Nope.
priest shows up.
Again, I abandoned it when the fucking chaos group appeared on the fanfic.
I was going to say the fucking at some point or whatever they do like a physical exam on him, which I don't know why they haven't done it at this point or whatever. And the fucking the tech priest or whatever, the tech not tech marine, the tech priest or the fucking tech priest that's sitting there or whatever is looking at it, and he makes some truly interesting discoveries from the medical exam. So yeah.
What? He's also in. I'm just gonna spitball here. Let me just guess. He's soulless.
Nope.
He's
Something even stupider than that.
What? He's Space Marine.
Yes.
Why did you go quiet? Courier? Courier, don't fucking tell me this guy is a null Space Marine.
He's not a null, but he does have some space marine organs.
So we're dealing with Cat.
We're dealing with Cal. No. That would Kitty. That would make sense because those are just like standard space marine organs. You know, part of the gene seed. This is worse. This is worse than that.
Does he have primary things?
Worse than that.
Does he have the plate?
Worse than that.
Chimera gene seed?
Less worse. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's worse or not.
Oh no, this is bad.
I'm just going to say it or whatever. So apparently.